Welcome everybody, my name is Tom Antos, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how I do color correction in DaVinci Resolve. As an example, I'm going to use a music video that just premiered on my YouTube channel called Never Broken by Anna Cyzon. And if you're interested, I actually did a 3-part tutorial for Adorama TV. You can check out their YouTube channel, and in there I talk about in depth about the pre-production, the storyboards, all the equipment I tested out, then also production, all the difficulties we had during the shooting. Also, you know, if you want to find out all the different gear that I used, the cameras, lenses, things like that. All of that information is in those tutorials, including even post-production, how I edited the music video and how I did the little effects in the video. Anyways, again, that's all on Adorama TV YouTube channel. Anyways, getting back to this tutorial, where I'm just going to show you the color correction. I edited this music video in Adobe Premiere 2015. But you can apply the exact same techniques to any other, editing program and still be able to do the color correction in DaVinci Resolve. I'm going to be using DaVinci Resolve version 12. Now, very often I get asked about the difference of doing color correction in your editing program or in DaVinci Resolve, and why would you choose the one over the other. And just quickly, doing color correction right in your editing program just simply means you can work faster because you don't have to switch applications, and also it's just easier to make changes. So for example, once you do color correction, you can still very easily go in and make changes to your edit, versus once you do the colors in an external program like DaVinci Resolve, then it's difficult to kind of go in and change your edit because you're exporting basically a rendered color corrected music video or video. Now, the advantage of using a program like DaVinci Resolve is the fact that it has really powerful color correction tools and also tracking, masking tools, things like that. Plus, it works in 32-bit color space versus editing programs which work in 16-bit bits of color. So that extra bits of color are just going to give you a better looking final product once you render your final music video. So here, getting back to my edit, this is how my music video looks before I export it to DaVinci Resolve. And this is sort of a big mistake that people do, when they're working on the music video, it's or any other video for that matter, and they're editing, their timeline is going to be a little messy. So you might have different videos and different video tracks, things like that, and they're kind of, some of them are overlaying, the other shots and things like that. Now, you do not want to export this into another program like DaVinci Resolve, simply because sometimes that can create problems. So the best way to do this is to kind of clean up your timeline and make sure that you have all your videos nicely, all your shots nicely edited, and it's all on one track. So now if you look at this, the same music video I have here, and it's all on one long track, as you can see up here. So, once you've cleaned up your editing timeline, then you can export this. And in the best format to export it in, so you can use it in DaVinci Resolve, is to a Final Cut XML file. So go here, export, and I'll go Final Cut Pro XML. So if you're using Final Cut, you can obviously do that, no problem. And most programs, editing programs, will support that, if that type of file format export. So click that. It's going to ask me where I want to save it. So I'll just go here to my project, and I'll just call it just 1, for example. And here, save it. And once we've done that, we can close Adobe Premiere and open DaVinci Resolve. So once DaVinci Resolve loads up, you just choose your user, and then we're going to create a new project here. Just call it Never Broken Colors, whatever you want it to be called. And then you just load your project. So double click on it. And as you'll notice, there's nothing in here. And the way DaVinci Resolve works is it's actually a really powerful editing program too. So if you guys want, you can download it. It's actually available for free too. So anyways, you have these 4 modules: Media, Edit, Color, and then Deliver. Media is sort of where you load in all your files. So if you were to do an edit, you would go up here and you would kind of browse through your computer and just kind of load in all the video, audio files and everything else that you're going to be using in your edit. Edit is where you actually go to do your editing. So you have your video, audio timeline, so you can drag the different video files up here. You have your source monitor, and then your primary monitor up here that you can view your final edited project, and you can scroll up here across the timeline. things like that. And then here you would have all your media that you loaded in the media module. And then color is where you would actually go in and do all the colors, and deliver is where you actually export your footage. So right now we can go straight to edit, because we already did our editing in Adobe Premiere, or I mean, like I said, you could have done it in another editing program, and we're just going to import it using the Final Cut XML. So we'll go to File, Import, and then go AF, EDL, and XML file format. So click on this, and we'll just browse it here to where we have the project saved. And here it is. Go open, and it's going to ask you, what you want to name the timeline, settings, resolution, all that stuff. But we can just basically tell it to take all the settings from Adobe Premiere. Click OK, and as you can see, it loads in our project up here. So you can scroll through it, and it loads in our audio files too. And as like I said, it's a powerful editing program. So you can still go in here and you can basically edit your or adjust your edit up here if you wanted to. But all we're going to use this program for right now is color correction. So we're going to switch right away to color. And in here, kind of the way it works is here you have your main sort of work window where you can see how your shot looks. Here on the right side you have basically your nodes. So nodes are going to be, it's sort of like almost like Photoshop layers. So you can put one, the next one on top of that, or after it, and so on. And this is our input, and this is our final output of that particular shot. So as we're adding different effects, we might choose to do it on different nodes or different layers, sort of. That's how you can think of it. And then here, as you can see, it shows us here, for example, the actual sort of a shortcut. Like visually, you can see our timeline. So all the different shots, it shows you here were cuts. But obviously, it's very hard there to kind of zoom in sometimes and see the details. Well, here on top of here, it shows you kind of thumbnails for each of the shots. So if I want to quickly jump to this shot, as you can see here, my timeline scroll is going to kind of jump there to the beginning of that shot. And that's kind of how you can kind of go through the shots. And then here, underneath the main viewport, you have another tool for scrolling basically just within that shot. So you want to just scroll to that shot and see how it looks. So you can see the timeline here. This scroll marker just moves in that area now. And yeah, that's kind of how it goes. So it shows us all of the shots basically in the music video here that we have. You can see them up here all the way to the last shot. So first thing we'll do is we'll just save this now as our project. So go just save project. And now that we saved it, we can begin working on it. So the first thing that I like to do when I'm editing or doing colors is I kind of like to just balance the shots so they all just kind of look nice. And especially in a music video like this one where it's all been shot in S-Log3, so it's a very flat looking profile. So if you're shooting in V-Log on Panasonic GH4 or S-Log on the Sony cameras or C-Log on the Canon's C-Line cameras, again, it's all going to be very flat looking. So you want to sort of bring those colors to a regular color space, which is normally referred to as Rec 709. So sort of what you're used to seeing. And here you can see the parade. You can see the red, green, and blue channels. And as you can see, all the colors are kind of, they almost look sort of compressed because they're kind of just in this area. Nothing goes into the extreme darks or in the extreme highlights here. And that's again because it's shot in an S-Log format. So we want to now stretch that information, like I said, and balance the shots. So just basically make it look natural. So for example, I'll start working on these rooftop shots. So I'll take this shot first, and first thing I'll do is I'll basically just load in a LUT. LUT is a lookup table that is going to easily transform your lag footage into normal color space. So we have a standard node up here that is attached to every shot as you load in the project, and then here you just right click on it, and you have options for no LUT, 3D, 1D LUTs, things like that. So we'll go to 1D LUTs. And here we'll go to Sony, and you have the other LUTs that you can install it on your own, or some that actually come already installed. So this one here, I have a LUT that I'll actually converted from S-Log3 to Rec 709. So I'll just click that, and as you can see right away, the shot looks a lot nicer. And when you look at the parade here, the scopes, you can see that the colors and all that information is right away stretched, up and down. So this shot looks pretty good. We can extend this view up here by clicking this little icon if you want to just have it a little bit bigger. Shortcut for that is Control F. You can sort of jump up and down, or if you want to make it full screen, you press, actually it's Control F to make it full screen and Alt F to kind of jump between this view and this one. It's going to be different obviously on a Mac computer, but on Windows that's what it is. So now I'm going to press Control F if I want to just make it kind of, you know, see the shot full screen. And like I said, I can kind of scroll through it. So as you can see right away, the shot looks way better than what it was before, you know, I applied that LUT. So this is how it would look before, and this is how it looks now. So it just looks more like a natural shot. So once we have this, next thing I'm going to do is kind of just go in, and I want to just copy these settings to all the shots basically where, you know, where we have the singer here on the roof. Since you know, all the shots are gonna on that rooftop are gonna look the same. So I'm just gonna kind of scroll through the shot, see which one here is, you know, on the rooftop. So here's another one, and I want to just copy those settings that I applied. So to copy it is very easy. You just go over to this shot where you already have the settings you want to copy from, and just middle mouse click on it. And as you can see, it copies the exact same settings. Here we have another rooftop shot, which is like a white shot. I'll also copy this, middle mouse click, and it looks pretty good. I might still want to maybe go in and tweak it a little bit. So I might want to adjust it, kind of, I would say, bring up the, make it a little bit brighter. I think this was a little bit underexposed compared to the other shot, this one up here. So I want to bring her skin tones up a little bit. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to create another node up here. You can here click nodes and go add serial node. You can add serial node before, after, things like that. We're just going to add the first one, or you can press Alt S. So click that. We have a new node, as you can see up here, and we can start working now on this node and adjusting different things. So here we have our primary wheels. You also have other wheels up here that you can have primary bars, and then you can have log wheels, which just kind of works with the color a little bit different. But for what we're doing right now, we're just going to work with the primary wheels, and that's probably what you guys are going to be doing with most of the color correction in Adobe in DaVinci Resolve. So like I said, we're making sure that this node is selected, and then now any settings that we make are going to be within this node. So for example, like, you know, I'll just show you here. Let's see, drag the offset colors all the way to yellow. As you can see, it makes the shot very yellow, and this is how it looks. If I select the first node, see, it doesn't show up anymore. That's because we did not do any of those adjustments in the first node, only in the second node. So now if I go back to the second node, you can see those settings. If I want to reset just this thing, then I click that. If, for example, I made multiple adjustments and, you know, lift, gamma, gain, things like that, and I want to reset all of this, then I can just click here, this little wheel, and it will reset all of these settings. And then the same thing goes for here, for our curve tools, qualifier, our windows. We can sort of do like a selection, our tracker, all of these tools for blur, keying, things like that. All of these effects are going to be now applied to whatever node you have selected. So that's where those adjustments will be made. Anyway, so in this shot, like I said, I want to kind of just brighten it up a little bit, but I don't want to brighten up the whole shot, especially not in the highlights there, because it's already really bright. So kind of, I think, more in the midtones, but we're gonna play around with it. So the way that this works is you have the color wheels, and you have lift, gamma, and gain is just another name for shadows, midtones, and highlights. And again, it's very similar to any other three-way color corrector and most editing programs out there. So we want to adjust the midtones first. So gamma. So I'll grab this, and here you have here we can drag the wheel to sort of shift the colors, and here we have this kind of wheel where we can, if we go to the right, we increase the brightness, and the left we decrease it. As you can see, it changes the way the image looks, and also you can look here on the right side, see how the scopes are changing. So here I'm gonna increase it. As you can see, shots gets brighter, but where everything in the shadows is getting lifted up too much too, so I'm gonna counter it now by taking the lift or the shadows and dragging it down. Dragging it down a little bit, and there. So now let's see how that shot looks, whether we balanced it. So this is before that node, and then now after it. So as you can see, basically just makes it a bit brighter, but it doesn't really affect the shadows as much. And then, once we've done that, again, we'll go to the next rooftop shot. Again, it's the white shot, so I'll just copy the settings from the white shot. And that's kind of how you sort of work through your shots. So kind of just copy these settings over and over until you're happy with them. So So let me just sort of go quickly through all these shots and just copy it. And here I basically just took all of our rooftop performance shots, and as you can see, I very quickly was able to copy the settings just by, again, dragging over the shot I want to copy from and clicking the middle mouse button. So once I've done that, next thing I want to do is actually apply our look to these shots, so our color grade. And the best way to do this, since we kind of like I said, initially we just sort of adjusted each shot and sort of balanced it, and now all of them are kind of more or less in the same color space and the same kind of look. So now we can just sort of apply one color grade to all of them, and then it should work pretty well. So the best way to do that is to basically group these shots and create a new group. So I'm just going to select all of the rooftop shots now. So you can select it either with by holding the control button, or if it was a bunch of shots, basically, let's say from this one to this one, you can just hold the shift and we'll select all those shots. But I want to just select those specific rooftop shots. So I'll hold control and I'll just kind of go through all the rooftop shots here, and like I said, just select them. Here they are. Here's another shot. Okay, there. Once I've selected all my rooftop shots, next thing I want to do is create a group. So right click on this, and here we're going to go add into new group. I'll call it rooftop, and just click OK. Now we can deselect these shots. We can just select any one of them and we can start working on it, on that whole group. So meaning whatever we do to this one shot, it's going to be applied to all of those rooftop shots. The way you do that now is here, when you're in your work window where you have the nodes, you can select to work on a clip, which is basically individual shot, or group, post clip or pre-clip, meaning it will apply the effects before the clip effects are applied, or adjustments, or post. So we want to do it as a post. So I'll go group, post, clip. As you can see, is right now we just have the standard one node. And first thing, for example, we can try doing is just sort of playing around, maybe loading in some LUTs. LUTs, again, are lookup tables, and I actually have a series of LUTs on my website that I'm giving away a few for free. They're really cool ones and easily apply this kind of a filmic look. And I also have these other, like a pack of 40 different color LUTs, which is Cinecolor LUTs, pack 1 and 2. And those are retailing for only $15 each. So if you guys want to check it out, again, it's on my website at tomantosfilms.com. Anyway, so I'm going to just sort of go through these, my custom LUT packs, and just see, whether anything looks really cool up here that I can maybe apply to automatically. Maybe let's try Transformer. That's a cool look, maybe a little too orangey there. Let me try something different. Maybe Happy Split. Oh, I like this one. I think this one looks pretty cool. I'll maybe keep that in mind. Maybe another one here from the other Cinecolor LUT pack. Maybe let's try the two-tone warm. That one's also a nice look. And what else we have here? Bloody Noir, which pretty much makes it a black and white except for the reds. So as you'll notice, most of the shot is black and white now, but the red colors are really the ones that are kind of popping there on the brick. It's a cool look, but you know what? I think I'll just go for that two-tone warm. I think that gives the music video a nice look. Now still, I want to adjust it a little bit. So here, let me just kind of scroll, see how the shot looks. And maybe what I'll adjust is I'll kind of just make it a little bit brighter. So I'm going to add another node, go to nodes, add serial node. And then here in this node, I'm just gonna play around here with the midtones, or the gamma. So I'll lift it up a little bit by dragging to the right, and maybe adjust the shadows. I want to kind of crash it so that the blacks look a little bit more dramatic here. There, drag it to the left. And I'm thinking maybe add even a little bit more warmth to the shot, not in the shadows. I like how this LUT applies a kind of a cool look to the shades of the shot, but just maybe more to the highlights. So and the midtones maybe. So I'll drag the gain a little bit here towards the warm, and maybe it's a little too much. And then the gamma again towards kind of red, somewhere there. And I think it looks pretty cool. Again, we can sort of quickly preview this by just disabling this individual node by pressing Control D, or you can just basically click on the name or the number of the node. So here we turn that off, and this is with that node applied. As you guys can see, without it, it just looks a little bit more bluish, kind of cooler looking. And with that, we warmed up the whole shot overall, especially in the highlights, and increased the contrast a little bit. So you can see before, after, and you can also see how the scopes here, the parade, how they're changing. So definitely added a lot more warmth. Maybe I'll actually take away a little bit of it just in the highlights, drag it back towards the middle again. Again, preview it, and this is kind of how I usually work with the colors. I'll just, like I said, whether I apply the LUT and then I kind of tweak it, or just do the tweaks on my own, I'll kind of just slowly go through this, you know, and kind of just back and forth until I'm really happy with the look of the shot. Once we've done that, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create another node. Go here at serial node, and in this node I'm going to play with the curves a little bit. So what I want to do actually with these curves here is I want to make sure I'm selected here, curves, and then go to Luma versus saturation. And one thing I like to do is just sort of desaturate the shadows, because just to make it look a little bit more natural. Usually when you're filming something, you don't have too many colors where it gets really dark. It's just there's not enough light to really, you know, get a lot of color information across. So that's why it's usually less desaturated. Saturated. So basically I'm creating a point here just in the middle somewhere. Gonna kind of, you know, drag it maybe more to the right. I'm going to lift it up a little bit, meaning I'm going to increase the saturation. If I increase that, see, all the way, you see the shot gets really saturated now. So I just want to do it a little bit somewhere there. But now on the left side here we have the shadows. I'm going to grab this and drag it down. As you notice, if I'm dragging it down, it gets those shadowy areas like here, the blacks, and then her glasses. They turn almost black and white. There's no saturation in it. So I don't want to do it completely, but somewhere there I would say. And then again, I'm going to counter it by adding a little bit more saturation there in the midtones again, something like that. So this way, what this allows you to do is to really sort of increase and make the shot look very colorful, very like basically like it's almost exploding with colors, but without making it look unnatural. Because if I just applied the same amount of saturation in the shadows, then you'll notice the shot just looks very like, just, yeah, again, looks unnatural, very blown out. So by desaturating just the shadows, you're still kind of making it feel normal while, you know, applying this really exaggerated, saturated look. Again, you can see how that looks by turning off that node. So before, and this is after. So it's like a subtle effect. Anyways, so I'm happy with this. And now, because we applied this to our, you know, group, you'll notice that all of the rooftop shots now have that color correction. So as you can see, you know, all of the shots here, and we can just sort of scroll through the music video, and you can see all of them have that nice, cool, you know, color correction. So that's kind of how I like to work with, you know, in DaVinci Resolve. And now, let's say I'm going to do the next sequence, which might be here, you know, running in the park. So all these shots here where the singer is kind of, like I said, just kind of, you know, running around and goofing off in the park. Again, I'm going to go and balance my shots, and then create the group and apply the effects to that group, and then so forth and so forth. And I kind of work my way through the whole music video like that until I have the whole music video color corrected. Now, just to quickly show you, for example, some of the other really powerful tools in DaVinci Resolve. Like for example, let's say in this shot, you know, might not be necessary, but let's say I just want to play around and just adjust, let's say maybe the singer's face. Like just kind of brighten it up. Maybe I feel like it's just darker there, but I feel like the umbrella is really good. So what I can do is I can, you know, do different selection tools. And here you have, for example, here the qualifier. So you can click that, and you can, you know, you basically select a different color or hue or luminance area in your shot. Now for this, I want to make sure that I'm working again in my clip, not in the group post clip, so that I'm not applying those effects again to all of my, you know, rooftop shots. I'm just doing this in this individual shot. So for example, I'll create another node, add serial node, and in this node we'll go to the qualifier and basically select, let's say, her skin tones here, and we can click here this little selection, and it will show us basically what our qualifier has selected. So we can, you know, for example, adjust here the width of it. So that means it's going to basically select more. As you can see, as I'm dragging the width, you can see up here it's showing us that it's selecting more of the colors. So we want to make sure we select that all of our skin tones, and then also we can soften it, so it's going to transition a little bit better. Or let's say we don't want to soften that much, we don't want to select too much of her hair. I think drag the selection again down. Then we can do the same thing with the saturation. We can soften the left and the right, and then also we can do with the selection, we can adjust the high and the low, something like that. And then the same thing with luminance, so we can adjust exactly, like really basically pick the shot or the portion of the shot that we like. We also have some other here selection tools. Like, for example, you can minus or plus pick. So let's say I want to pick those shadows there, so I can just click those areas, and that's how we can sort of make sure that we're selecting all the areas that we want. If we, for example, wanted to select her lips, I would click on the lips too, but let's say we actually don't want to do that, so undo it, and then next thing I'll do is I'll, for example, just do a blur radius, meaning it's just going to kind of soften our selection. So you can see it creates a very soft selection. Now I can turn this off, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to now basically change her skin tone. So for example, and because I'm doing this in this node, which has the qualifier selected for her skin tone, that means that whatever now I do in this node is only going to be applied to her skin tones, or the selection that we did. So for example, if I want to now brighten up her skin, I can just take the overall here and just drag it to the right, and as you can see, it brightens up her skin. If let's say I think it's too saturated, I have saturation, hue, luma, all those controls. I can then drag the saturation, let's say desaturate it, so I can make completely go almost into black. Let's say we'll desaturate a little bit. If I want to, let's see, switch the colors, make her look like an alien, with purple skin, I can do that. Or other skin tone, maybe make it more brownish, yellowish. So as you can see now, because we have the selection, you can very easily go in and basically tweak the shot and tweak very specific areas of that shot, which in this case would be her skin tone. And you want to see how it looks before, basically without that node. This is without it. As you can see, the skin looks darker and different color definitely, and now with it you can see that's how it looks. Another cool thing you can do is, for example, you can go here to blur, and you have different things. You have blur, sharpen, and mist. And let's say you want to, here that's not the case, but let's say you have a singer where has, or subject that has, let's say, acne or some skin problems, and you want to hide that. Well, you can do that by basically applying a little soft blur, and you will basically just apply it to that, the skin tones, like I said, or the area that you selected, without making the whole shot look like it's out of focus. And so you can see if you overdo it, then even her nose looks like it's blurred out. But just by applying it a little bit, you can actually really soften her skin tones and make it look make it a skin look either even smoother. So you can do really powerful things like that. And as you can see, it's all being applied in real time throughout the whole shot. So it's a very cool thing. And if we want to now copy that easily to another shot, then we can just take that node, and we can, for example, take just that selective node and go edit, copy, or Control C. And let's say we want to go into another shot, like let's say this close up here, and let's say, or maybe this one here, and we want to apply that same effect to those skin tones. So again, we'll create a new node, and then we'll just Control V, or here, edit, and then paste that basically effect. So as you can see, that effect is being applied now, and this is before it and this is after. So you can see it's affecting just the skin tone. So that's the really cool and powerful thing about DaVinci Resolve, that you can do all these things and really sort of go in and start working on your shots. Another way that, for example, you could work with it is, let's say I'll pick like this shot. You can see the singer is moving away, and let's say you want to adjust not just her skin tones, but her whole face, including the glasses. So again, I'll add a new node, and we can just create a mask, and we can track that mask. So we can go here to the mask, and we'll select, for example, a circle here, and just make the screen bigger. We can select basically the area of her face, that we want to basically work on. We can, we can adjust, for example, like the rotation of this oval. We can Here you can adjust just how how smooth the transition is, or the fading. So anyways, we selected that, and now the really powerful tool that DaVinci Resolve comes with is the tracker. So now we can switch here to the tracker window, and we'll just track forward. And as you'll see, it does it really fast, and it does always an amazing job in tracking. And as you can see, now that track follows her face perfectly. And what that now allows us to do is we can go to our curves, for example, and we can again, let's say, go to the custom curves, and we can, whether work with the whole curve, we can adjust and do effects just basically on that area, on just her face. Or for example, go to the red channel, and you can just work individually with the red channel. If you want to drag that down, or let's say we'll reset the curves, and maybe let's say adjust the colors here a little bit. So we're just gonna maybe adjust, maybe brighten up again her face a little bit. Change the colors a little bit, maybe make it a little bit warmer. As you can see, this is before, and then this is after. How we're changing her face now, and as you can see, it's being now applied to that whole area, and including the glasses. And you can also even do this in together with the qualifier tool. So you can use a qualifier and masks, basically like this oval, or you can have multiple masks, and you can do all these cool things. And like I said, individually select areas of the shot that you want to sort of adjust differently. Like for example, if you wanted to select that whole background and make it look like it's out of focus, you could do that again. So yeah, really powerful tools, and like I said, it's it's the DaVinci Resolve is available for free. You can go to their website, you can download it, and you can start using it today, and you can even, like I said, edit your videos in it, or if you just want to use it for color correction like I did up here, you can do that too. Once you're finished, like I said, you kind of go through the whole shot like this, and remember to, like I said, it's good to work in those groups. So create those groups that you can then apply easily your color grade to your whole shot like that. Because this way, like I said, it just kind of speeds up your workflow. Because if you want to, then let's say if I want to make a change now to one of these shots, I just go to my group post clip, and if whatever I make changes here, like let's say I decide I want to change the input LUT and apply different LUT to it. Maybe let's go change to something like, for example, copper tin look. So again, you can see that by changing now, it applies that effect now, that change to all of the other shots. Let me undo that, for example, and now once I've done the whole music video, I've done all of my colors, and I'm really happy with it. Then what's left to do is just deliver it or output the video, and then you can import that into your editing application. So you can go here, you can create a new job basically. You can select the different options that you have, so what format you want to export into. So AVI, different codecs, different resolutions, frame rate, things like that. And then basically once you're happy with the settings, you click create, add to a render queue, and then you select basically where you want to save the file. So we'll go here to, let's say, our final, click OK, and as you can see in the render queue, it shows us job 1, and you can create multiple outputs in different file formats, add these different jobs, and then once you're done, click start render, and we'll render all of these your music video basically, or your finished video, into these different formats. Some of the other options you have here in the output is, for example, this thing which says individual source clips or single clip. All that really means is that it's going to output each of your shots in your video as an individual clip, versus single clip, it outputs one long basically video file, which includes your whole edit. So this might be good if, for example, you want to export, like I said, individual shots, and then now import them back into Premiere or Final Cut or whatever it is, using an XML file format, and basically just you'll have all of your shots now individually there in your timeline, but they're going to be color corrected. So that's sort of the difference between that. Anyway, so that's it for this tutorial. If you guys are interested in seeing some of the more advanced tools within DaVinci Resolve, let me know by leaving your comments in the comment section below. Also, if you guys are interested in checking out some of the other filmmaking tutorials I've done, lighting tutorials, as well as film gear reviews, then make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, enable the YouTube notifications so you're notified when each of my videos is uploaded, and don't forget to visit my website tomantosfilms.com for all the free downloads that I have, like the free lookup tables, all the widescreen bars, camera presets, things like that, that you can use in your next video. Also over there I have all of my filmmaking tutorials easily laid out for you guys, as well as, you know, always some new articles or filmmaking or video production related news, things like that. Plus in my store I have the Cinecolor LUT, both of the packs for just $22 or individually for $15, and also other exclusive filmmaking tutorials like the lighting dozen, where I show you from the beginning to the end of basically how I set up each shot, lights, camera settings, things like that, and then the color correction to get the finished effect. Also my music video film school and the dinner date short film school. So if you guys are interested, again, you can find all of that on my website at tomantosfilms.com. Thank you guys.